Welcome back to Steezcast, episode 3. We said we would be back this week, and we actually managed to do it.
Perfectly on time.
I don't know when this video will be uploaded.
Yeah. I mean, and also the views definitely dipped.
Yeah.
From episode 1 to episode 2.
Yeah,
so,
well,
I mean,
but you know, if we can get 10,000 likes on this video, what would we do?
we'll post episodes back to back. I might go crazy.
Nobody wants that.
That's a lot. That's a lot of
Go
work.
crazy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's see.
We could throw Chuck in the pool. We'll throw Chuck in the pool for 10,000 likes.
All right, fine. I'll do that. No, how about like something reasonable? Something reasonable. Dude. Something reasonable. Like 15 likes, you can push me in the.
Yeah, no,
you can
for
put
15 likes, we can push you in the pool fully clothed.
Yes.
Yeah, I like
cool.
that.
All right.
I will do that.
Now that we've made some promises that we may or may not hold,
Oh no, if we get 15 likes, we're doing
Definitely
it.
doing
I might do it for like 2, if I'm being
Well, I'll
honest.
do it regardless. It's just a matter of if we film it.
Yeah. So we'll start off again with the minute segments, just like last time. So without further ado, Winslow, take it away.
So recently the NFL announced, after a big partnership with Amazon Prime, that they're going to be switching to a 17-game season, which I think is really cheap and kind of hurts a lot of the history of the game, because now a lot of the records, like rushing yards per year, passing yards per year, all those can be easily broken, and it basically creates a new era of the game when we didn't need a new era. I don't know what you guys think about. We switched to 7 playoff teams last year, which I liked because it made more games, but obviously it's kind of just a money grab.
It's just that's the same thing with the 7 games, 7 playoff teams. It just gives them more money.
Yeah, exactly, which I think really cheapens the actual enjoyment of the game, because everything now is at a new level where you're setting new records, and all those previous records that basically make up the history of the sport are now illegitimate.
And also for the players, there's already so many injuries in a 16.
Yeah, exactly.
Adding another one.
And this is
good for
football
anyone.
is probably one of the most injury-prone sports.
Yeah.
And also, if you're the NFL, your main goal is to make money, but also you should have some responsibility to your
I agree.
players and all that.
All right, next one, Jonah, go.
Yeah. So as most of you know, probably the Olympics are being held in Tokyo. Hopefully this summer, or hopefully not, if you are a Tokyo protester. There have been a lot of protests in Tokyo over having the Olympics there, just due to a big wave of COVID issues that they've been hit with.
Recently?
Yeah. So under 1% of their population is vaccinated, which is not so good if you want to have immunity.
That's less good than
Are
Are they trying to bubble for Olympics or no?
I think that's the plan. They'll test and everything.
Even if there's not a lot of COVID vaccine, it still seems so doable to do that.
if all of the athletes are vaccinated.
All the athletes are vaccinated.
You just don't
can
have
do a bubble.
spectators.
You don't have spectators.
Which technically hurts that actual competitions.
It also
scene,
a lot of countries want to host because it helps the economy because they get so many tourists.
All that, but at the same time,
I didn't even think about that.
if American private companies can figure out how to do leagues like the NBA and NFL and all that, then it seems logical that the entire world could figure out how to do the Olympics safely.
You would think.
You would think.
Apparently not.
Apparently not. All right, so next is the NBA play-in results. The update on last time.
LeBron with the flop of the century.
LeBron with the flop of the century. He claims to have seen
3 ribs.
3 ribs.
And just
I just shot for the middle one.
So I shot for the middle one, which if you only have 2 eyes, where's
that third one coming from?
So I'm not sure what he's talking about there, but he made the game winner anyway. The Lakers advance. They'll play the Suns. The Warriors lose. They'll play the Grizzlies for the right to play against the Jazz. They should win. They might not. Well,
So how'd that Hornets prediction go for you?
So my Hornets prediction went terribly. Because apparently the Hornets are actually terrible and gave up 145
but
points
the
in a
announcers
playoff
are
game.
to the Pacers.
To the Pacers, who aren't even good. And even in any circumstance, giving up 145 points in a regular season game is bad. I don't think
They gave up
anyone would.
145?
In a playoff game, which does not happen. In playoff, they're usually close to 100. And the other game, the Celtics beat the Wizards, which is another prediction that I had, which was wrong.
Boston.
Don't sports bet.
So so don't sports bet everyone.
Not that
you did.
Not that he did.
have.
It's just
not a good idea usually.
In general.
Don't
Alright.
promote it.
Do you want to start the
DraftKings
timer?
sponsor us, please.
Do you want to start the timer?
Yeah.
All right. So I found out about the story probably 15 minutes ago, but
Way to start it.
Yeah, nice.
Now we know you're really credible in how
Yeah,
to
all right.
Yeah.
I take that back. I learned about it. I researched this. So a Houston Tiger escaped something and was found in a
Well,
neighborhood.
escape
What
something,
do you mean
okay.
something?
It was
Like,
not a
what did he
zoo.
escape?
It was a dude who just owned a tiger.
So are you allowed to own a tiger?
No, because apparently he was in prison for it, or
Yeah,
charged for
He was
it.
charged with it. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, almost like you're fact correcting his minutes.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
walking
Stop
you through
fact correcting me. I'm the expert on
I'm
this.
helping you. I'm walking you through it because I know
I'm
you
the
don't know what you're
expert.
talking about.
Anyways, the tiger
Is
is
named India.
That's
what he was about to say. What else
it
you
took,
got?
all right, it took them a week to find it in
Yeah.
Houston. How what is the tiger
Houston's a
doing?
big city.
What is the tiger doing? Like for a week,
I
like,
don't know. Like,
is it
if you
just,
were a
like,
tiger, what
eating
would you
children.
do?
like just kind of like hanging in the alleys, I guess. Like
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
is that what tigers do? And
I don't know.
Is that what it did,
If
Chuckwin?
I were,
the kind of thing that you
Yeah.
could know. Essentially. Like this information definitely exists. So if
Yeah.
someone researched this, they would know.
all right.
A minute's up.
Somehow his segment went 15 seconds longer than all the rest of ours. Yeah.
I don't think we can call that his segment.
Yeah.
Our segment.
Our segment.
All right. Now that we've finished whatever that was, we can get into our longer segments that hopefully we've all done a little bit more research than Chuck went on.
I did research for him.
Okay.
I promise.
Kanye.
So I'm gonna start it off with the next big thing in
I
entertainment.
totally scrolled to a different part of the page. So you don't know my bad.
The next big thing in entertainment coming up soon, which is the Floyd Mayweather Logan
Ooh.
Paul fight.
I'm actually very excited for this.
I am too, actually, even though it is
I mean, you guys,
a blatant cash grab for all
but do you
of them.
remember that like the hype surrounding the first KSI versus Logan Paul fight?
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't think it's getting that much hype, but I think it's gonna be about that much fun to watch, unless Logan gets
it won't
like,
be
smacked.
I think it'll develop as much hype when it.
But
when
it
we
probably
get
won't be an
closer,
interesting
but
fight.
it won't be an interesting fight. Like
Or will. I mean,
I doubt it.
I mean, to be fair, Logan
Like,
Paul versus KSI wasn't an interesting fight.
I mean,
No.
yeah.
Logan Paul's been
Yeah.
training like nonstop. for
Yeah,
I know, but like
no,
Yeah.
Floyd
Floyd Mayweather's life
not
is
he's
44.
44.
Okay.
It's a
Old.
big difference.
Old. It's 6 years, not that. He's old.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's
Logan
not.
Paul's not old.
Bro, he's not gonna lose to a guy whose record is 0-1 to KSI.
So that's sort of the question is like, for those of you who don't know, Floyd Mayweather is arguably the pound for pound greatest of all time in boxing, arguably,
Muhammad
obviously,
Ali?
which is why I say arguably. I think Ali's better, but there are people
Yeah.
who would say Mayweather is better.
Well, that would be wrong.
Okay.
What is Mike Tyson like? Mike Tyson was just like strong.
Mike Tyson's just like
Actually,
a big
like,
hit,
killed
like
people,
who
right?
has
He
very.
didn't kill people.
No, I know, but like
He bit a
when
guy's
he-
ear.
But he did like he just KO'd everyone.
He
But,
just
yeah.
like was very
Wasn't
strong
technically
and
good.
made like insane highlights and like.
Okay.
But he wasn't like he was very good, but he's nowhere near the level of like Floyd Mayweather or Muhammad Ali.
Right.
Got it.
So Floyd Mayweather has agreed to fight Logan Paul, who speaks for himself, really. I mean,
I like Logan Paul. Logan Paul's matured a lot recently. To
He
be
has.
fair to him.
he has.
His podcast is not bad.
His
I mean,
podcast
it's
is
not as
pretty
good
nice.
as
ours.
Yeah, no, not nearly as
It
good
doesn't
as
compare.
Steezcast.
Yeah.
But I was sort of confused by this whole thing at first because Floyd Mayweather is 50-0 with 27 KOs,
That'd
and
be crazy if his only loss.
and Logan Paul is 0-1 against KSI,
Yeah.
and so
So together they're 15-1, which is pretty good.
It's a pretty good record.
I mean, like just taking it at that value, it's a pretty good matchup, but it's just that one of them is 50-0 and the other
There's
is
one loss in
0-1.
history between the two boxers.
That's
Yeah.
that's
Cool.
that's
And
worth the
there's-
stat line.
A 50 wins split between the two guys
Ben
as well.
coming
That's
through with
good.
the analytics
Yeah.
once again.
Yeah.
So I was confused because at first I was like, this doesn't make sense at all, really, from any standpoint, except for a monetary one, because this is going to be pay-per-view all over the world. It's taking place at Miami Hard Rock
Yeah,
Stadium.
it's a cash grab.
It's a
That's
cash.
all it
Like
is.
that's just all it is. But
That's why I love capitalism. Now we get to watch them fight each other. It's awesome.
How did boxing really become like a sport? Like I
people,
get
people like watching other people beat the crap out of each other.
Yeah, I know, but like, how did that become professional? Like, you know,
I'm
like,
sure
Some
some
people
guys
became better
saw.
than everybody else in killing.
Yeah,
other
I'm
people.
sure some guys
So
saw
they were
like,
like,
a
alright.
bar fight and was like, okay, it would be kind of cool if this was actually like
organized.
Yeah, organized.
Also,
a
how
little
crazy
bit.
that it's like totally normal that we all like pay for tickets to like watch people fight each other and then bet
Well,
money.
it's like
on who's
it's
gonna
like
win the
modern
fights.
day like
Yeah.
Well, we don't
Coliseum
bet
stuff. I mean, obviously people aren't
Sorry,
getting
Oh,
that chance.
yeah.
We all bet money. We
That's
don't.
It's
also
like the
crazy.
Coliseum.
That's also
basically.
crazy.
It
Yeah.
is like that, but
I mean,
like
It's just the rules have changed.
It's a little bit of a toned down
The
Coliseum,
Coliseum,
really.
yeah,
it's
a
a
little bit. No, but it kind of is.
there's way
Everything
less
makes
beers.
sense.
Yeah, and tigers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Except in Houston.
I know a lot about that.
It's actually no, because there was a. I don't know if you guys saw this. There was a. I saw an Instagram post where someone posted a NFL commercial from like the 1970s, and every single play in it was illegal now.
Oh yeah.
It just shows like how much the rules have changed to
Yeah.
become safer and stuff like that. So I guess we
So
don't.
are
like,
you saying
Is that your
like,
analogy
we
between
just
the
got
Coliseum and boxing?
Yeah, we got
Yeah,
safer.
a little bit.
we toned down the Coliseum, and now we
that
have
is
people
the
punch each
history of
other.
boxing. So boxing began in
Yeah.
I mean, it did.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well-
I don't know. Well, these people in the Coliseum just paid to like watch people die.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty much.
Which is horrible, right?
Do
Like,
people die in boxing like ever?
sure.
It
There's
has to
definitely been people
I
who
think
died in
like
boxing.
Yeah.
yes, but I think I bet the
maybe not
casualty
on the
rate.
scene,
Hold on,
though.
this
maybe not on the
deserves-
scene. Like maybe they got KO.
Oh, yeah,
and
sure.
they, like,
I would say the
Never seen
the
that
casualty
before.
rate as
Yeah,
opposed to
Apollo
the
Creed died.
Coliseum's probably a little bit lower though.
yeah.
Compared to the Coliseum, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's true.
Right. So
Analytics.
nice. So, what I was doing a little
Oh
bit of
my
research
God.
into.
February 1995, it was estimated that approximately 500 boxers have died in the ring.
That's
Yeah, it's
that's
a
a
big
lot.
number.
That's insane.
lot.
So in 1 year.
I mean, yeah, but like
Or
you're getting
in
punched.
one
no,
year or
no,
total?
no, no, in like
Okay.
before
Oh,
1995, not in 1 year, bro. That sport would be canceled.
Yeah, that would, that would be
yes.
bad. So when I was doing research into this specific fight, I was looking at some of the details of it. It's like there are not comparable builds at all. Like Floyd Mayweather's 5'8", Logan Paul's 6'2".
6 inches in addition to the 20 years.
Well, also
Right.
then you've got the wingspan, right?
So it's a little less difference than the height. Mayweather's got, I believe, 72-inch reach, and Logan Paul's got 76-inch reach.
that's still like for.
I mean, it's a
if you're
significant difference.
striking down on someone, that's definitely considerable.
It's a significant difference. There's also that Logan Paul has an estimated 40 pounds on Mayweather,
Oh Jesus.
so that's a lot.
Yeah.
Which like
They're
for
not.
for those.
So they're not doing like a weigh-in for this.
I mean,
They're
like
just,
they,
No,
they will
they'll
for like.
definitely they'll do a weigh-in, but
They'll
Like,
do
it doesn't-
weigh-in
it
for
doesn't-
like
they
the
always
press.
do weight.
And
yeah.
also
But,
so
like-
we can like watch them like stand really close
Yeah,
to each other
exactly.
into each other's eyes. Like,
it's all
But in
spectators.
this case, it'll be like-
Mayweather's
yeah,
head.
dude,
Yeah.
he's down on him.
Yeah,
He's like 6 inches. Like,
that's
Mayweather's
a
just going, like-
lot.
Yeah, that's like a lot.
so he has a
lot.
smaller wingspan, and he has to like.
It's like
Also,
Try to continue, please. Please.
Anyway, yeah, so it's gonna be rough because for those of you who don't know boxing, usually you would have boxers of similar weight and height and reach box each other so that it's fair. They have weight classes for that specific reason. This is just being sort of thrown out the window for this fight, for the sole purpose of like they just want more money, really.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
But so, this is what's sort of been weird for me, and I think for a lot of other people who like boxing, is that like
Do you watch boxing?
I don't, but like
I mean, I'll do pay-per-view if there's a big
No,
fight.
no, it's so I don't.
I'll watch
fights
UFC.
literally are
I'll watch
just, like,
UFC.
30
I like
minutes,
UFC.
maybe.
yeah.
UFC's really
UFC
entertaining, probably
is
because it's a little bit.
I don't know. I've never.
They're
paid
more
for it.
kicks.
Yeah, there are
Stuff.
more kicks. Do you ever watch UFC highlights and just
Yeah.
listen to the sounds? Oh my god, it's terrible.
yeah. But what people are concerned about is like, as you said earlier, Mayweather's 50-0. So if he loses to Logan Paul because Logan Paul's 6 inches
Logan Paul's
taller,
the best to ever do it then.
4 plus inches of reach, and weighs 40 more pounds, like he goes down as 50-1.
But does this count? It's not a professional match. It's just a
No,
publicity event.
no, it's a
No,
professional match.
Is it?
It counts as a professional match.
I think it does.
That's stupid.
Floyd,
mean,
if
yeah.
Floyd
Well, there
Mayweather
also be
loses,
no
he's
point.
gonna write it out.
There'd be no
Yeah.
investment to
Yes.
like make to watch it. They'd just be two guys slapping each other for. I mean, I guess that's
Which is what
boxing is.
real professional boxing is.
But,
feels like it.
but you've got a reputation to protect. If there's no reputation to protect, why would Mayweather be doing it? I mean, money,
like,
but
Money.
Yeah, I mean, 100
money
million, like, reputation.
yeah, but then you got to factor into account
That's,
Jake Paul.
I
still
think it's actually more than 100.
Yeah.
million.
Yeah,
Also,
that'd be
the
a-
thing about
it'd
that is
probably
that
be.
his hair is really ugly.
Yeah, what is
Who?
with his hair?
Floyd
yeah,
Mayweather?
he looks
Yeah.
really strange.
Yeah, he
Really?
has to wear a hat.
That's why he always wears a
Yeah.
hat.
Oh, really?
Well,
Yeah.
Speaking of his hat, there's been an unsurprising amount of drama in the lead up to this fight. Both of these men have relatively large egos, so
Yeah.
there's been some clashing before. But the main one, when it came to like a major head, was actually not between Logan and Floyd. It was between Logan and Logan's brother Jake.
It was off the rails.
Yeah, but he's
Yes.
also hilarious. Like this.
Yeah, no, he's funny, but
Yeah, so there was a video that went viral of like during the press conferences, which I'm sure many have seen, in which Jake Paul steals Floyd Mayweather's hat and yells,
runs
"I
off.
got your hat,
got your hat."
and he just sprints
runs
off.
off into the
Got a
crowd.
tattoo.
Like
on
as
his
normal
leg.
adults
Yeah.
interact
And
with
then,
each
and
other.
then, you see,
Yeah.
and then you see like Floyd Mayweather get like trapped by a bunch of people trying to hold him back, and then he's like looking up because everyone like
Yeah,
towers
towers
over.
Yeah. And he's like they appear to take like a few shots at Jake,
yeah.
which like that seems like a lot over a hat, but like at the same time, why would you steal his hat?
Because
Because his hair's ugly.
Jake's just like a. I don't even know what.
I
that
approve of
used to
this.
describe.
That increased the hype of the fight so much.
No, it
Yeah.
increased the hype of the fight,
It's a
but
good
Jake in general is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. He's actually Jake has a boxing
He's a
career
good.
of his own.
I mean, like he's had.
He's
decent
more
Is he, though?
successful than Logan in the ring. He's 3-0 with 2 TKOs and 1 like real KO. So
Yeah, I know.
he started
Alright.
with a TKO. He fought Nate Robinson, and KO'd him.
Yeah, I'm so mad he beat
This
any
guy
Sneak
named
Out.
Robinson ruined his reputation.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's like one of the coolest basketball players ever. Now
Yeah.
he's just the guy who lost to Jake Paul.
I saw that fight too.
Yeah.
He looked horrible. Like
Yeah.
even before, obviously,
No, and
like
like
he
Nate Robinson just
folded.
definitely did
He
train. He was
Yeah.
like, I can fight this guy. And Jake Paul's been like training all day
Yeah.
for like months.
Yeah.
And
That I do respect.
Yeah.
The
So
fact
that-
he's actually put work
Yeah,
into it.
totally.
yes. And then recently he fought Ben Askren, who's a retired mixed martial arts fighter and wrestler, and TKO'd him within the first few minutes, which a lot of people thought was staged.
It was definitely not staged. Like he got destroyed.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean,
I didn't watch the
His
fight.
legs were wobbling.
he
was
did not look good.
Oh
he was
no.
seriously in trouble.
But so that's been a theme actually with this is like they thought a lot of people thought that the Askren Paul fight was staged, and with the hat phenomenon.
Phenomenal.
A lot of people thought that was staged as well, just for like publicity, which, I mean, wouldn't shock me just because the promoters know what they're doing, and
Yeah.
as you said, it increased the hype like, exponentially for this fight. But at the same time, is it something that I think Jake Paul would do unprovoked? Probably.
Yeah.
Uh,
Absolutely.
So that's sort of all you need to know for the fight and like the details leading up.
We'll be commentating on the fight live.
Yeah. No.
So-
Isn't
What?
it?
What?
I'm pretty sure it's after our senior project.
It is.
Yeah,
It is
it's
June
June
6th at around midnight. There's also Chad Ochocinco Johnson will be fighting someone in the undercard.
Actually?
Yeah.
That's sick.
Oh,
Like,
he's definitely gonna win.
I love Ochocinco, bro.
We don't know who he's fighting
Doesn't
yet.
matter.
He's currently fighting TBD.
Have you ever seen him kick a field goal?
Yeah.
He actually made several field goals during his
Yeah,
career.
he's one of the most talented people.
Well, he's also just like a lunatic.
He
He's
also
no, he's
changed his
not.
last name
Did
to
you see
Rizzo.
that?
You see the bets he made for this upcoming season? He said if Patrick Mahomes doesn't win MVP, he won't shower for 2 months.
What?
so
No, he's insane. Like
him and Randy Moss are some of the best personalities like to come
Yeah.
out of football. Him
Yes.
especially though.
The
Yeah.
implied probability of Logan Paul winning is 12.5%, which
Right.
is
Not that
honestly
you're a betting
that's
man.
pretty high.
pretty high.
Like but- so that's all because of
What is
the
12.5%
height and the reach.
plus- what is
700.
that? 700.
That's all the height and the
Our
reach.
betting expert.
My personal opinion, my personal
Analytics.
prediction for this fight, Mayweather beats Paul, just based on
KO
the
or
fact.
TKO?
I think like Paul just won't be able to keep going.
Yeah, I
honestly.
think he's
Oh,
gonna
you think
outlast
stamina
him.
is...
I mean, like
That's what Mayweather's
That's what happened with
known for.
McGregor.
Yeah, but plus 7.
that's exactly what happened with
Yeah.
McGregor. So McGregor
Mayweather
couldn't.
will fight a slow, long.
That's something
So-
that also needs to like. I mean, I think there's really no chance he actually wins.
No.
It seems like.
Unless somehow he like catches Mayweather off guard with like a really strong
Yeah.
It's a
punch, because
round
the weight
1 or
difference,
2 knockout.
the weight
Yeah.
difference,
Look.
yeah. If he doesn't get him in the first 2 rounds, he's finished. Because if he lands a solid punch, though, that weight
It
difference definitely
It
like
could.
matters.
And age, I guess.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
you also like if you
Most
watch
people at
boxing.
44 aren't getting punched in the face by athletic
Yes.
24-year-olds.
If you watch boxing,
Yeah.
there's a lot of like they like grapple with each other, and so
Yeah.
if Logan Paul puts like his weight on Mayweather,
Yeah.
that's gonna tire him out pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So you're saying plus 700 is the play?
I am not advocating for sports betting at all.
But if you were,
No. Let's
No,
say-
I don't think Logan Paul's gonna win. I think
Okay.
that the only chance that happening is, like you said, a round 1, round 2 knockout. But Mayweather's
like
known.
a lucky punch.
But Mayweather's known for dodging and weaving and,
Yeah.
and
I mean,
like
defense is
staying
what
staying
he's
safe
specialty.
in the first couple rounds. And if he can do that and then hit a few like nice punches late, I think that's gonna be how the fight goes.
Mhm.
I agree. Should be fun to watch though.
Yeah, I mean I'm gonna
I'll
buy it. I'm
definitely
gonna watch
I'm
it.
going to
How-
watch it.
yeah, also, they charge so much for boxing matches.
They do. It's,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
Well, I don't know why you can't
They
just put it on
genuinely
TV.
are like 15, 30 minutes. You watch all like the undercard.
I'll watch Chad Johnson fight someone.
Yeah, yeah.
No, dude, I'm more invested in that than.
Yeah.
I mean, he does what he wants to do.
Dude, he's gonna cut like his showmanship is gonna be so funny. Like you
Yeah.
know, how boxers come out with like the entourage,
Yeah,
and, like all
sure.
that stuff.
In other boxing news, do you see Wilder Fury 3 was approved?
Really,
Yeah, Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury.
Tyson Fury is really fun to watch, actually.
Yeah, no, it's
I don't know that much about boxing.
that was a big thing like a year ago.
Yeah, it was.
Tyson Fury won.
Oh shoot, the fat dude.
Yes.
You're like
Anthony
Anthony Johnson,
As the
that-
commentary, you should watch this for.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
dude who beat Anthony Johnson, like
Anthony
the big,
Joshua?
tall Anthony Joshua. That's
Yes. So he fought and beat Deontay Wilder not too long ago, and a third fight in that series was.
his name. And Andy
was
Ruiz.
awarded.
How could I forget Andy Ruiz? This dude.
Yeah. So there. Yes.
This was like the greatest fight of all time, bro.
Yeah.
Ah,
So
yes.
that- so
and
there-
you're qualified
Yeah.
to make that comment.
It was just so fun.
Based on all of your research.
You're this like short dude. I don't know. Yeah.
So yeah, boxing to look out for.
Back into space.
Mayweather, Paul, whatever the Mike Tyson fight is, whenever that is,
I don't know.
and
Tyson.
Wilder Fury 3.
Yeah. And on the topic of things that are going to like advance the human race.
SpaceX.
There's no way to transition.
How?
from
That-
there.
no.
That was pretty good.
How is boxing gonna advance the human race?
No, Coliseum to boxing to
To space, to Mars.
Yeah.
Logical next step, we're gonna fight Martians.
I mean, Elon would want to if we could.
Yeah.
Totally.
I'm sure he believes in. He's got to believe in another spacefaring.
I feel like
No, obviously
it's
there's
so
got-
it's so large of a
We
universe.
will talk about this on a different episode.
Yeah.
But there's got to. Anyway, the reason SpaceX is.
But there
coming-
are aliens, but on a
But
another
on a
topic.
different note. On a different
We'll get
note.
back to that later at some other time.
The reason that SpaceX has kind of come into the limelight recently is because NASA just gave it like a $2.9 billion grant to help relaunch humans onto the moon,
Which is a lot.
which a considerable amount of money, I will admit. But it's crazy because
really?
we haven't been to the moon since 1972. I didn't know that. Like, I just learned that. I could have sworn we had
not
been
much
going
to
to
do.
Alright, yeah. What is
Dogecoin
the
went to the moon
part-
like a couple weeks ago.
That's true.
I mean, he's not wrong, but apparently the main reason for it is to, conduct research and stuff, yes, but also test out more of SpaceX's reusable rocket stuff. They want to have the first woman to land on the moon beyond that spacecraft as part of the Artemis program, and so one of the things that I found really interesting when I was researching this topic is how the reusability of the rockets works.
Right.
So
I
there's
got a real quick question though.
yeah.
Didn't like most of the reusable rockets like blow up? Like,
Yeah, but that's
all I've
trial and
seen.
error.
That's
Yeah,
all
the trial and
testing.
error, but now it's good. Or, like, Because most of them blew up
Really?
when you put
But-
people on.
That's
the
what the
sensor.
grant's for.
Yeah, exactly. That is
Yeah.
what the grant's for. But basically, so there's been several models of SpaceX rocket. The first was Falcon 9, then there was Falcon Heavy, then there was Dragon. Dragon's really cool because it has 7 passengers, and the amount of cargo that it takes up, it can take half of it back, which is a decent amount when you're talking about taking things into the space and then back.
Is there any rhyme or reason to the names of the things, or it's just
No,
it's just
it's-
animals that Elon
it's
likes?
just-
Better question:
stuff.
why would you take something to space if you're planning on taking it back?
Just
Well,
leave it here.
Well, no, but it's mostly about fuel. It's mostly about fuel, like
I
the
see.
amount of fuel that it can carry.
It just seems a little silly to like.
I
We'll just bring more food
think
than we
it's.
need
I
just
think
so we
it's-
can take
well,
it back.
No, but I think it's more because Elon wants to establish like a base on the moon. So you need to transport materials
Okay.
up. You need to take. I don't know what you're taking back.
Yeah,
But-
that's my question.
Moon
yeah,
rock.
I don't.
What, rocks?
Probably
they
rocks.
ever-
Well, presumably,
water
if you
on
leave stuff up there,
Yeah, they found
and then
water.
you can
Frozen.
like if
I
you're
mean,
making a base, you leave stuff
if
up
you
there,
have water in
and
the
bring
moon,
other stuff back.
then
It's
I've
great
been like
podcast
on
of
this.
two discussions at once.
Like
Yeah.
you. Oh, okay.
no, you go.
No, but if they found water on the moon, I've already said this before, but like just in asteroid mud, if you get water, you could separate it into hydrogen and oxygen, and you can use hydrogen for fuel. So if you're able to do
Or
that,
you just
can
solve
put-
water shortages
you can-
on Earth.
Yeah, I know, but that's more just like.
But that's
for, like,
temporary. Problem.
Yeah, that's
like
more
that,
like fuel to like refill, like it's like a pit stop.
Well, yeah.
Pit stop.
I'll get into
The shout out to
refueling
cars.
later. Anyway,
These guys can't even look at it.
What are you talking about?
All right. Let me. All right.
Ridiculous red
All
flag.
right. No. This is relevant. If you can get a rocket ship on the
No,
moon,
we know what you're saying.
all
we
right.
know what you said.
So
You
it's like
explained this
pit
before.
stop.
Like, yeah, it is a pit stop. Just say it normally.
Dude, why would I say pit stop normally?
And why say pit stop when you can say Pete stop?
That's a great question.
Why
Anyway,
do you guys
back
do
to
that?
reusable launch systems. So back to your question of, because it's failed, why are we still doing it? The thing that they were able to do with the Falcon, like the way that a rocket's designed, you've got 2 boosters on the side and then the main like module, right, that has a secondary engine. So the first 2 ones that fall off are called first stage, and they figured out how to have it so those fall off like when you're probably in, I don't know, the stratosphere. I don't know what the stratosphere is, but around there. Like, you know how like
Around the stratosphere.
around the stratosphere.
Somewhere up there.
But those fall off, and they've figured out how to actually land those and then reuse them. Like, they
Okay, sure.
fully
Oh, that's
figured that out. The problem is getting the second stage, the actual module with either the people or the whatever you're storing in it, to be reusable, because that is going to be entering Earth at orbital velocity instead of just falling down with gravity. And then you have to account for like the friction when it enters the Earth, the air resistance, stuff like that.
Orbital velocity, which is of course GR squared.
It's
m.
oh
Good
no,
thing-
it's
good
no, that's
thing
that's
you
for
said it's
perfectly
not.
circular. I'm pretty sure it'd be elliptical, but anyway, so the technologies that they use to do this are they develop these really cool, kind of look like spatulas, but they're called hypersonic grid fins, and it allows for like really precise landings. So they can, I don't know if you guys have seen videos of SpaceX landings,
I haven't.
but what they do is
I've
they
seen-
Most
I've
of
seen
them
the ones
end
of
in
them blowing up.
explosions, Yeah.
well, because those are the ones that make the news. Like, the ones that aren't as interesting are the ones where it actually succeeds, but those are pretty cool, too. But,
That's an
you
interesting statement about our news today.
Yeah.
The way
Wow.
we receive our information.
know. Well, anyway, but, so what they do is they take a floating, like, landing pad, kind of like an aircraft carrier,
Sure.
and they have them, as the, whatever it is, the booster, like, re-enters the atmosphere after exiting during the stratosphere. Of course, because I know where those 2 things are. Anyway, the boosters...
Something tells me you don't know what the
Yeah,
stratosphere
no
is.
idea what the stratosphere is, and I
That's-
feel
I'm
like
pretty sure-
science
Isn't
is
that a
wrong.
layer of our
Yeah,
atmosphere?
it's just
Yeah,
a
it
layer.
is, but I don't know where the boosters release, so that's just...
They just release.
They're, yeah, but shouldn't I say a location of their release?
Space.
Space, sure, space. Anyway, they fall, and then using these hypersonic grid fins, they basically direct it with using air resistance and then also some secondary boosters that are on the bottom of the rocket to land on the floating craft. Obviously, there's been a lot of failures, but they figured out how to do the boosters. Now we just need to figure out how to do the second stage actual missile thing.
Got it.
You know, the
So
problem is,
why don't the spatulas work on the module?
I think because it's too heavy.
Okay.
And like it still has fuel in it, whereas the boosters, once they've detached, have no fuel. The only thing is, Elon Musk totally abandoned this idea. that was for the Falcon and Dragon models. And so he abandoned those, I think, in like 2016 because he couldn't figure out how to get the second stage module to actually land correctly.
He abandoned the spatulas as an idea?
No. Just getting the second stage module.
Okay.
Like he's going with a totally different design of rocket.
Got it.
Which he's calling the Starship, which hopefully is going to be the thing that takes us to Mars. That's his hope. And what his base plan is, he's going to launch it. It's going to enter orbit around Earth, and then there's going to be kind of satellites floating in orbit that it will attach to, get refueled, and then go to Mars. Now my question is, why are we going to Mars? He says
are you
because
asking us?
Because you
yeah,
can
I'm
like
posing
to
a
try
question.
and be able to like sustain life there. Like if you.
Yeah, but he says it's merely because he doesn't want us to be a solely like single planet species.
That's just future thing. That's like.
I feel like that's.
I mean, logically, the next step is to do that, right? Like.
Right. I mean, at some point, we'll run out of resources here. We'll run out of space here, leading to somewhere else.
But what's on Mars?
So, well, I don't know if it's what's on Mars
Potential.
specifically, as much as it's like just having the ability to go there. And also, if we want to go to further and further planets, Mars is pretty far away.
Yeah, but
from
Mars
here.
is the closest.
It's
of,
but
yeah.
so if we want to go to further planets, then having like either a base on Mars or.
But isn't that kind of the wrong direction? Because then you're going Venus and Mercury, and you don't want to go to either of those.
Mars is the
Well,
opposite
that's the
direction.
opposite direction.
Mars is the opposite
Our
direction.
space exploration.
I'm so glad you know which way planets are.
Planets.
No, we chill.
Dude,
That
no,
was-
winters
that-
at Mars
that-
would be so
that was
bad.
bad.
That was
That
rough.
was totally bad.
This is the kid who like
I
it was like obsessed with knights and dinosaurs. You didn't have a planet phase?
No. Did you have a planet?
Of course I had a planet
Everyone
phase.
knows the planets.
I'm just
though.
sort of like picturing like those little rugs they had in like my elementary.
Yeah,
I had a
yeah,
placemat.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to picture what are the things they put above babies, like
Like-
cribs? The little things
Oh,
like
yeah,
those.
Like a mobile.
Yeah, those
Well, those aren't exactly to scale.
Really?
Well, clearly mine failed me because I don't know where Mars is.
Yeah.
So it's Mercury, Venus, Earth,
Right, no,
Mars,
I got-
asteroids,
Yeah.
Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune.
Yeah. Thank you for that little.
Well, I wasn't sure if you
Well,
knew
yeah,
it.
no,
I think that was valid.
No, I
After that
actually
catastrophe.
clearly needed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel really bad about that now.
You probably should.
Anyway, so we're going to Mars.
We're going to Mars.
We're vibing there. It's gonna be like negative 30-degree winters, maybe even negative like 50.
I
Right?
mean, things be he says he wants to have Mars fully hospitable or have people be there by 2026,
That dude just wants to be alive
which
to
is
see it. It's
which
not
is
I mean, it's a good goal.
it's a good goal, but that's
That's
so
not happening.
unrealistic.
Well, doesn't it take like 7 years to get there?
the government would have to.
I don't think
More
so.
money, alright?
Maybe I don't. know.
Definitely
It takes like a good amount of time. Thank
It
you.
definitely takes a good
How
amount
long
of
does it take to
time.
get to Mars?
Yeah, it's fine.
But I mean, think about it. We'd have to transport all the materials to build a station. We'd have to first of all perfect the reusable rocket theory, which would really help because it would save a lot of money.
So it takes about 7 months to get to Mars,
Not
So
7 years.
not 7 years.
which is close to 7 years. It's
The
half of
same
it's
number.
The same.
It's the same,
Yeah,
it's the
it's
same number.
just different word afterwards.
The good thing is, no matter what I say wrong, it probably won't be worse than thinking Mars is
We're
the
gonna
opposite
cut that
direction.
out. We're gonna
No,
No,
we're
we're
not.
not.
Definitely not.
Absolutely not cutting that out.
Definitely
out.
cut that out, unfortunately.
Okay, so as we go towards Mars, on the first step towards Venus and Mercury, like, I think Elon's definitely right that it's like intrinsically a good thing for the human race to like expand itself and go to other places. To think like,
Yeah.
why else are we here if we're not going to try to see what we're capable of as a species?
Yeah.
Right. Might
So
as well.
is that our like because we don't have a purpose? That's where we want to go.
Well, it's like humans have always done that. When
We'll harness
We-
the
we go to
resources of
further
Just
our
places.
expand.
just expand,
Always
explore,
expand.
see new. It's like
Yeah.
the final frontier and all that. Like find new places, see new things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll
but there's-
never really get to see it. I don't think. I don't think our
Maybe,
generation.
maybe.
I think
We might.
I think we'll see life on Mars. I do think we'll see.
I don't think we'll have
sustainable
people living there. I think.
I doubt it because who wants to live there?
Yeah. Well,
Researchers.
some people know. Some
Researchers.
Researchers.
researchers because then I mean
Whatever
as you
helicopter
said,
we talked about last time.
Oh yeah, helicopter.
the helicopter.
Not a helicopter, but rotor brake.
The little toy.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
little toy
Snap.
helicopter things. I mean, the whole purpose of establishing a base would just be another base to launch off from. So
Right. Well,
I don't
that's
think-
sort of what I'm saying.
I
Like,
think the only people that are gonna want to live there are people who then want like engineers who are then building new rockets.
yeah, I mean, it would be like you need some people to work there, and
Yeah.
like in order to keep it operational.
I
And
mean,
I guess there are always people who are willing to do those things, like International Space Station.
Yeah.
People go to
Yeah.
it, or even farther back, like people were willing to like go from Europe to like
Yeah.
America, even though there was who's telling you're surviving there.
yeah, but also America. Oh no, I
Well,
guess
it's the
no,
same thing.
It's
Yeah.
not the same
People
thing.
will-
We
It's-
live in the
it's similar.
generation that will not get to explore our planet or the solar
That's
system.
that's
which
an
is
interesting way to
kinda
put
sad.
it. Like,
Yeah.
Because
There's no expanding.
There's no
There's no
expanding.
really.
I mean, there's
expanding
ocean.
this.
There's ocean discovery. I mean, we don't.
Yeah,
know
we
very
know
much
nothing about the ocean.
But that's
That
also-
is
Well, if there's
terrifying.
something crazy like at the bottom of the ocean,
There
like,
probably
The
is.
Kraken?
Like,
something
No,
like
there absolutely is.
what's the stat on how much of the ocean we've explored? It's
Like
like a
5%.
5%.
I think it's 7, but that may also just.
But I mean, I
be
think we
you
would know
said
if there was
7
something
months.
really crazy going on there. We have
I
like
don't-
radar,
would
like,
we?
like radar,
I don't
like
think we would.
there's so many things that are unexplained. Like, I don't know if you ever watched like what was it called, the blip,
Blue-
or like that thing.
The blip.
Yeah, no, it was
the
like a.
thing, like
it was this,
the-
like, noise
don't
that
they
happened.
Call that
That's the Thanos thing, but don't worry about that.
don't they call it the blip? though?
Yes.
Yeah. No, I don't. It might not be
It's like
called
the
the blip.
second time you've brought up a Marvel reference in this conversation,
Alright,
and it
this
hasn't
is
been funny.
great. All right. This is my.
That's
I always love
66% of our
saying this.
episodes.
I always love saying this, but like you know how like
What if there was Iron Man?
Thanos snapped on like a different planet and like the whole like every single universe was split in half. It wasn't just Earth.
Sure.
Like what if on a
Earth
whole
isn't a
different
universe.
or yeah whatever.
Yeah,
Planet?
he
What-
says all life.
All life, yeah. But
Yeah.
what if on like a different planet, light years away, there is a Thanos, and he just like snaps, and then randomly here half the people disappear because like
Then we
That would really suck.
we would like we
Talk it
have
out.
no way to
no, like,
deal with that.
Yeah, I know, but wouldn't that be crazy? Like every time
Yeah, of course.
Did you like
crazy.
get enough food today or something?
Like I'm definitely tired, but like it's just a cool thought. I don't know. Like right? Isn't it? Like it could just randomly happen. Like,
Yeah.
Awesome job. You're
you'd be
doing
selfish.
so well.
You'd be selfish to think Thanos would happen on Earth. Why would it happen on Earth?
What?
Well, Thanos also didn't happen on Earth. We just happened to have some of the Infinity Stones.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. that's
How
fine.
did this conversation start? Literally.
Alright, should we
you talked
move
about
on?
Marvel.
Yeah,
Probably.
definitely.
Yeah.
What's how much time?
That was
do you-
exactly.
You're done.
15 seconds.
You're
Speaking
done.
of Thanos,
Nope.
No, not at
How?
all.
What?
Okay.
I just
Thanos
thought this.
truck.
I think that's a really
Thanos
cool
truck.
thought.
Thanos truck.
So trucks.
Trucks.
So Ford just revealed the electric version of the Ford F-150, which is
Clearly applying to their consumer base.
clearly applying to their consumer base. Exactly. Which that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
It's So if you don't know, you probably do, but the Ford F-150 is the larger Ford truck.
That's like what they say in the commercial.
I really wish you said that louder.
Yeah. I hope the mic picked that up.
Yeah, seriously. I don't think he did, but
I don't think it's it.
We'll go back and look.
so it's the most popular car in the country. It makes Ford $42 billion every year.
That's more popular than like a Honda Civic.
Apparently, it is twice.
I guess we only see this is totally different.
You don't
demographic
live in the
than
middle of
like
the country.
Midwest.
I'd rather have a Kia Soul.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, no.
I don't know about a Kia Soul.
Everyone drives these trucks.
I
They.
want a Buick. That's not a Buick.
I don't know what's going on with
I'm so
this.
tired.
Oh my god! I've been.
You get to go play baseball after this, and then we're gonna play capture the flag in Manhunt.
Oh no, baseball. I'm done with baseball. I do need to go pick.
Okay.
So-
but-
Yeah. So Ford, they sold 20,000 in the first 12 hours. In total, all Ford F-150s, not the electric ones, make Ford twice the profit of McDonald's in total. So the cars are significant.
It's 20,000 a lot in the first 12 hours.
Not necessarily, but
Right.
for a car that doesn't they aren't selling yet, it is.
Oh,
Because
okay,
it's for 2022.
Jonah, tell me how many McDonald's there are in the country.
Approximately 6 tires.
How many? Yeah, back to another joke.
Zero McDonald's have a Michelin star.
Yeah, so back to another joke which wasn't funny last time. It's not funny this time. So what's interesting is that Ford is definitely betting against gas cars being a thing in the future by making one of their biggest product electric.
They already
Is it
they
gonna
already
be
have
only?
electric cars though, don't they? Isn't
They
Ford
do,
Focus?
but not a truck.
They're
Right, and
not.
And no one buys them. Who
Are
drives
they
a Ford
still gonna
Focus?
make?
Never even seen
Right.
it.
I've
That's.
seen Ford Focus.
I don't even know.
Hocus pocus. There's pizza on your focus. This is actually funny jokes.
We're really tired,
Yeah,
guys.
anyway. So anyway, other companies like
Wait, hold on. Before you go, are they gonna continue making gas?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
so other companies like General Motors are following and trying to invest in electric cars, electric trucks, and all that, which is obviously following the global need to reduce our emissions, because pollution coming from cars is the largest single source of greenhouse gas emissions in the United States.
I was going to say more than factors, but obviously it's more than factors.
Yeah,
More cars.
there's just so many cars, and it's so much gas that we consume.
I wonder like during COVID what the effect of people staying home was.
Yeah,
Oh no, I'm
down.
sure it went down, but by how much?
A lot.
I mean,
It
there
went
was
down a lot.
there was a
I
lot
feel
of
like
stuff that I saw about like animals returning to places that they hadn't.
Yeah,
recently.
I saw that too.
It's
Like there were like I don't think it was dolphins in the Hudson, but there were dolphins somewhere like
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
that we
It was
haven't
like
seen
it was
in
like
a
like
while.
San Francisco Bay or something.
Yeah. But I wonder, like, if you took the amount of greenhouse gas emission that we lowered by during COVID and did that for a couple years, how much better of a position we'd be in? Is that just prolonging the inevitable,
Maybe.
or would that actually help?
I don't think anyone really
What
knows.
It's hard-
I
it's
think
very hard to say.
It's gonna happen. Like they're gonna like. I don't. Eventually, there's gonna be like some like big thing they're gonna have to do. Like they're gonna have to like go up and like chemically like fix
Totally.
In the
ozone layer
stratosphere.
or something. It's not
Carbon
it's not-
capture
Stratosphere.
technology.
Yeah,
Like,
they can't.
whether it's like carbon capture.
We
or,
can try and like develop this out,
But-
like electric vehicles, but eventually like there's gonna have to be like a serious like scientific solution.
And we right now don't have commercially viable carbon capture technology at all. So
Yeah.
things like this, even if you are only delaying the inevitable, still are necessary.
Yeah.
Because we don't have the technology we need to do.
just give
other
us a
things
little more
like-
time.
Exactly. So what's interesting about this is that you need to get people to start using electric cars among like people who aren't necessarily thinking about the environment first when they're making their decisions.
Yeah.
Right.
Like for example, the big thing with Tesla was that for the first time they made an electric car that people actually wanted to drive,
Yeah.
which is different from like
Yeah.
other electric cars, which are marketing themselves as being electric.
Right.
And
Exactly.
how many people really care about the environment when they're buying cars? Not many, right?
I mean,
Most cars
it's
are gas.
probably more about price.
It's totally about price. And people buy Teslas because it's a sports car that's not that expensive because it has the full
Exactly.
screen and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just technologically
It's
advanced.
Yeah,
Right.
It's also like just has. Like,
It's not about
premium
honestly.
factor.
I'm sure the fact that it's electric actually like. If you're deciding to buy a car, I'm sure that's actually a negative for some
Totally
people
is.
because it's so out of the way to go charge.
It is that's so like we have a Tesla,
Yeah.
and it's very hard to, and like occasionally you have to find places on your route to like
Like, and
stop
if
and to
you're-
like sit there because it takes like some time even at the superchargers to charge the Tesla.
How long does it take at a supercharge?
It depends on how much you need, but like it can take anywhere like around an hour.
Oh wow.
Oh, so you're just sitting there for an hour.
Yeah, I mean usually like it's next to like a Kohl's or something or like some.
Whereas
mall.
gas takes
Yeah.
5 minutes to
Right.
pump and then you're out.
So that's the inconvenience factor of it.
And so, like on that note, I was watching an interview with the Ford CEO who was talking about how like you have to make the cars that can attract people for other reasons. You can't just say buy my car because it's an electric and we care about the environment. There need to be actual benefits to using this car instead of another one, which is why it being a F-150 truck is such a big deal.
Yeah.
Because like that's the most popular car. That's
Does it
something-
still have the same power? Because a lot of the whole
Close to it.
F-150 marketing is that it can pull a lot, it can hold a lot.
I mean
It's-
it'll be faster.
It is less horsepower, but it's it's faster and it's more like.
Just by nature of being an
See,
electric car.
I don't think that's gonna attract the
But
same
it's very
demographic.
comparable, was what they were talking about. Is
Right.
that it's almost there.
Fair.
So in addition, they added some other things onto it. So it can power your house, which is awesome. So if you have a power outage, which was like a big thing with Texas,
Oh, so it's like a generator.
Oh, wow.
it's also
That's insane.
If there's power in the car, you can like literally make it power your house. You can make it power like appliances, which is a huge thing for people who like use it, like small businesses use it to like work on projects, contractors. You can plug tools into it and then
Oh, that's
use that to power,
wild.
which is
So
really
it's
cool.
got like outlets and
And
stuff.
it's outlets that you can
Okay.
like plug heavy machinery into and use, which is really cool.
Oh, that actually, like, if you take away the, or like, compare that with the speed thing versus less horsepower, that's so much more important.
It's so much more important. You can also, there's much more space on the inside because engines take more space than electric motors
Right.
do, so there's more space to put
But I'm sure it's heavier.
things in.
Probably.
It's maybe it's not, I don't really know.
Because, I mean, Teslas are quite
Teslas
heavy
are
because of
heavy.
the battery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that F-150 now, it goes 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds, which compared to trucks is insane.
That's nuts.
Yeah. So there's benefits. Again, they're trying to find out ways to make it better. And all of this, it's only $40,000, which is similar.
What's that?
Yeah, that's
What
comparable.
is the?
I think the F-150, the non-electric one's a little cheaper, but that's
It's
cheaper
like
than most
30,
trucks. It's like 35.
like- yeah.
Okay.
Most trucks are more.
Yeah.
Most trucks are much.
Most
like
trucks are
Rams,
around, like, 50,000.
Rams are quite expensive.
So it still is definitely comparable. And in addition, there's a federal tax credit and subsidy to buying an electric car.
Oh.
And many states like New York and California
Oh.
will give you like $5,000 to buy an electric car instead of
So
a
it makes the
gas car.
price the exact same.
So it
with
makes the
added
price the same.
benefits.
Yeah. Which is why it's
So Ford killed it on this one.
Ford killed it on this one.
I mean, as long as people buy into it.
Yeah.
Which
Ford
with
might
the
do it.
honestly with the power tools and the fact that it's faster, I think they will.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It seems like it will be a very big thing and people will actually choose
Yeah.
to get it. And especially the population of people who buys pickup trucks is likely not the most environmentally conscious
Yeah.
one in the first place.
How does I mean, I don't know how electric cars work. Do Tesla chargers work for other electric cars, or are they uniquely branded?
You know, I'm not entirely sure about that.
Because
actually.
if you have, I wonder if Ford would ever consider like sponsoring just a nationwide, like development
Yeah.
of like.
Well,
like
that would also require each individual car to use the same
Yeah.
technology for
So I
charging.
think
Yeah,
They could
but why
also
wouldn't they
partner
do
with
that?
Tesla or
Because that would help. It'd be the same thing as
I-
gas, and you
so I
don't have
if
to go
if,
either way.
if one car develops a more like efficient way of doing it,
Then you just
then watch out,
change.
there's a spider.
Well, I guess you don't want to change because it's competitive.
Well, I know for example, with like the Biden infrastructure plan, they're building chargers in a bunch of
Oh, they
places where
are?
gas stations
Okay.
are. So I know at least that has to
So
probably work
like
with
openly
somewhere.
compatible chargers that help with. Okay,
Because
that's good.
like I would assume, because it would be pretty dumb if it wasn't.
It'd be
Like-
really weird if you had like selective.
I mean, then you have the
Yeah.
government sponsoring like a
Yeah.
single private.
I guess
Yeah.
it's a lot different because gas stations are an entire business in themselves that aren't involved with cars, whereas chargers, you have a charger being developed by a car. I mean, unless
Right.
in this case, for
Totally.
Biden's infrastructure, being developed by the government would be so much better.
Yeah,
Because then you don't have competitive prices or anything like that.
yeah, for sure. And the other thing with Ford is that like other green tech cars that have happened, whether it's like Tesla or like a Nikola that was trying to be a thing and wasn't, like we talked about the other day.
Yeah.
That
Like,
doesn't count as anything.
doesn't count. But whether it's like the majority of these things have been coming from small companies and startups.
Yeah.
Ford already, because it uses the most of the same parts that the F-150 does, except for the engine.
It always the same production.
They can
costs
produce
and
it
stuff.
really quickly and produce tons of it
That's
at a
awesome.
very low production cost. So they can do that whole economy of scale thing that startups can't do. Which is a big benefit too.
Wow. So they're just rolling this out.
Yeah, they're
like,
rolling it out.
quickly. That's awesome.
And I'm sure if you saw, we talked about this a minute ago, but the video of Joe Biden driving it.
That was
Yeah,
so
pretty
funny.
awesome.
It was so funny.
That was him driving the
The F-150.
Yeah.
Where he like threatened to run over.
Because first
the
he
reporter.
threatened to run over a reporter.
Can I ask you a question about Israel Palestine?
Yeah, and he was
No.
like, no. And what do you say, like, only if you stand in front of the cars?
Yeah, yeah.
And then he's like, I'm joking, after he threatened to run over a Ford, which was pretty funny.
Wow.
And
okay.
then he just like, he's like, watch this. And then he like,
It's like,
the dude's like, how old is he? Like, he's 79.
Yeah, it's so funny.
He probably at least hit 100 on that track, and he was going.
Actually?
He was going so fast.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the video. It was
I've
like,
never driven a truck. I wonder how it handles compared to like a
Yeah.
sedan or something like
I
that.
bet it's less.
Oh no, I bet it handles well, not nearly
That's
as
some
well.
good analysis you got there, bud.
I've never driven a truck either.
But I'm sure you can feel it a lot more, like the acceleration and stuff like that, because it's got a lot more to move and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. And especially with this truck, how fast
Yeah.
that it does accelerate.
That's crazy.
And on the topic of like Joe Biden, it's like the whole thing.
Please transition this.
No.
No, I thought you
No.
were gonna transition it. I thought you were
No.
like, oh no, go on then.
He's
I think you
tired as
transitioned my
hell.
time. I was like, what are you gonna say right now?
Got it.
Never mind.
Okay, so
Quality of our videos have steadily decreased.
steadily
since the first
decreased.
one.
It's been exponentially climbed. So, like the whole thing about like a Ford electric car fits in perfectly with his economic vision. It's like
Right.
very,
Right.
very working class, very industrial.
But it also appeals to like the heart of American,
Exactly.
like what people think of as American.
Right. It's the working class, industrial, traditionally American sort of culture.
Patriotic.
But it's also green.
All that, but it's green.
Exactly.
But it's green and it's super high
It's
tech.
best of both
Yeah.
worlds. Basically.
Exactly, which is exactly what Joe Biden's selling with like the Build Back Better stuff,
Mhm.
with like Built in America, and they've been the government subs. So there's a couple part of the battery technology Ford is buying from South Korea, and so the U.S. the government is subsidizing something to construct the batteries in the United States.
Right.
So
it'll be all like the advertising for that will actually be perfect. Like
exactly
completely
made in America,
American.
completely made in America, high tech, green, electric car with the traditional American and
Progress.
patriotic progress, all that stuff, which is very much what Biden has been selling this whole time.
Right.
So what I'm hearing is Ford and Biden absolutely killed it on this one.
Yeah, they did a good job. Made truck.
That's awesome.
They made truck.
They made truck.
Then.
So speaking of presidents, now you go and move on to a failed presidential candidate.
Yes.
Kanye 2024.
All right. So, in light of I think they announced they were gonna make a Kanye West documentary like a week or two ago.
He's typing on his computer because he spelled Kanye wrong in the first letter of his page of
Yes.
notes.
Again, very
How
tired
did you
today.
just notice that?
I mean, I must have this was whatever. Never mind. Anyways, so like
This is
most-
the segment I've been looking forward to.
It's good that we bury this until the end.
Yeah.
like we did all the serious
Nobody's
stuff,
watching
like,
anymore.
No, please,
Yeah.
please, if you're watching, I
Now's the time
salute
to
you,
stop.
but you better stop right now.
Wait, you don't want to
Carbs,
talk
I'm
about
so sorry.
You don't want to talk about Kanye?
We all want to talk about Kanye. We
Alright,
just don't think
yes.
you can.
All right,
You are-
I can talk about Kanye. All right, so the main question that I kind of wanted to kind of address, because you can talk about a lot with Kanye West, is if he's more a genius or he's more like psycho, and like just like a crazy
Asking the
dude.
real question.
I
who
think
is in
a
the
lot of
spotlight.
geniuses are psycho.
Yeah.
Well, that's his big thing. He's like, name one genius that ain't crazy. He like
All right.
made merch and stuff.
Give us the both sides of it.
All right,
Yeah, what are
so
you talking about?
I mean, all right. To begin with, I read that Kanye West claimed that he scored 98th percentile for his IQ, and his IQ is 133.
I think that's not right, probably.
I don't.
Or it
I
is.
I couldn't. Like 130.
I can't see that.
What's Albert Einstein's IQ? It's definitely around there. It's like 140. It's 160. So
No, it's between 160 and 180.
well, yes, yeah. Between I tried to like get it as close as.
I mean, the 98th
Yeah,
percentile is like
but,
you're
yeah.
smart, but like that's not
That's not-
insane. Well,
pretty
it is.
insane.
But like,
It's probably genius level. Like I don't know what we
no,
consider.
they're exactly
genius.
top 2% of people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but in terms of like just music, he is arguably one of the greatest discographies out of like any artist ever.
Yeah.
So like, and like he was a producer before then, pretty talented. He produces now. And in terms of like just like clothing and his designer brand, like that's also taken off. I think he's one of the wealthiest people in America right now.
Yep.
I think he's like, I don't know what he's worth right now.
But I own a pair of Yeezys and I like them. But then like he also made the foam runners,
Well,
which are some of the most disgusting shoes I've
What
ever
I want
seen.
to talk about also is like with his like clothing brand, like
Yeezy's
do you think that
genius,
actually
though. That was
Yeah.
a genius.
do you think
move
it
by
actually
him.
is genius, or do you think like
Oh, it's
he's
from
just
a
he
marketing
made a
standpoint?
name for himself and the clothing he's making isn't actually that great? It's just people are buying it because it's
No,
Kanye
but
West.
that's why it's genius.
Well, yeah,
because he's
because-
just
yeah.
marketing.
He's
off
marketing
His fame.
his name is now
Well, he has.
I mean,
think
it's
he's
kind of.
created-
I guess Jordans are actually good shoes, but it's kind of the same thing with Jordans.
but like
Totally.
is
He's-
he really
he's
making that
created-
good stuff right now?
I think he's created clothes that reflect his brand and his image.
Yeah.
I think like Yeezy's like it's recognizable not only because
Explain to me how the foam runners.
I don't even know what a film.
I don't
It's
know
like
the
a
phone.
it's like a
It's
croc.
the slides.
Yeah,
They
I never-
look gross.
It's
he,
not
okay,
good,
so
but-
he missed once.
Yeah.
But, like,
I don't like a lot of the Yeezys.
yeah, I don't either, but I think it's
But
recognizable.
but
that it
yeah,
comes
exactly.
From him, right? It's
But is
very
he
clear.
talented at like actually designing clothes?
I think so. I think that
I think we have a
He
Lady
can
Gaga
definitely,
Polaroid
He can definitely like
scenario here.
make a brand for himself.
You can make a brand. I don't know if he's good at designing, but I also doubt that he's
Well,
the
what does
one
it mean?
designing it.
he's created clothes that people want to wear.
No, he definitely takes pride in like doing a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay, but how do you actually know that he's doing?
He definitely
that?
has a team. He does
No,
have
he's got a
but-
team, and I'm sure he has some say. But like he may like give an initial idea, but ultimately the designing is up to the designers.
It's mostly him. Like,
I think
really don't
I have a hard time believing Kanye's letting someone else take the reins
Yeah,
of his
I
thing.
think
Yeah,
that
I agree. There's no way. There's
in terms
anyone
of
else
his
touching this.
creativity, like he really like.
It's definitely one of those things with a bunch of executives at like Nike who are like, oh sure, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
I think it's
fine.
Adidas.
Or Adidas.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Adidas.
sorry. Who's like, yeah, go for it. Yeah, do it. Like, and just
Yeah,
let
I
him.
mean,
Yeah.
they just like trust that like
Yeah,
his name could sell things.
exactly.
Which, I mean, it
which
can.
Which it
does.
can. I mean, look, he did a partnership with Gap like over quarantine or whatever, and like he like increase Gap's value, cap space or market cap. Market cap. I don't know why I knew it was a cap, but market cap like 4 times. It was crazy.
So
just by making like a deal where like it increased the value of Gap. That
so like
much.
all that stuff, and that I'm sure that like makes him smart and all, but like also when Travis Scott made the cheeseburger, that was like great
The
for
Krabby
McDonald's,
Patty?
right? The
Yes.
Krabby Patty.
Krabby Patty.
When Charlie D'Amelio like partnered with Dunkin', that was like really
He can tell you all about that.
Charlie can tell you all about
I haven't
that.
had Charlie Million.
But none of those things make these people geniuses. It's just that like when you have a name,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah,
what
exactly.
Kanye
You
says,
you market stuff.
Like
But
Jonah
like
just
he
said,
made
it's
a
what
name through
Kanye-
music, and I'd say he's more like good at music. I'd say he's.
Of course.
What are we?
I agree. He's a better music producer
But does
and
that
an
make him a
artist
genius
than
in general?
What does it even mean to like be a genius?
Yeah,
I would-
like, are
Yeah,
you
I
saying
guess.
like a genius in general? No.
No,
A
obviously-
musical genius?
No, I think
Yes.
so.
Yeah, I think he's a musical genius. I mean, like as you said, his discography is one of the greatest that I've ever seen. Like
Yeah.
he has so
Yeah,
many
that makes
classics
sense.
that like I will put on at any point and be like, this is a good song.
Yeah. And like
Uh,
I'd argue other than Jesus is King, like he didn't really miss.
Yeah,
No, I don't think he ever missed.
Jesus
Well, I mean,
Jesus
just, like,
King was not good.
There was like
Yeah.
one good song.
I did not like
No, I
Jesus
give it
King.
like a 3.
Honestly,
I'm glad he was more just happy than he was like that was rough time period I think for him.
For yeah.
There were at
to
least
find
recent years,
Jesus.
but like
Yeah.
I mean,
But he's nice at pink.
look, he's had a lot of controversies too now, which I don't know. Like, does that discredit like what he's done? Like where he's like
separate art from artists.
yeah, like I mean, I think
Does
it's
it
more
make
highlighted
his
recently.
music worse? No.
No, it doesn't. It
But
doesn't.
like,
But,
do I think less of him?
Yes.
Probably.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do.
that's fair? Like when
I
you
don't know
tweet
if I
out
do, like
Bill Cosby's innocent.
That
was
look,
bad.
That wasn't
Not
so
me
good.
defend that one.
You can't defend that.
He
The
also
two
said,
things.
but like
So you have this list here. The 2 things that aren't defensible are the slavery was a choice comment and the Bill Cosby innocent tweet,
Yeah.
which is like
No.
2 things.
yes,
The
Yeah.
rest of
But
this,
those are
He definitely
those
shouldn't
are
have
some
interrupted
pretty
Taylor
bad-
Swift.
I thought it was pretty rude to interrupt Taylor Swift.
yeah, but that was hilarious.
Um,
Like, I mean,
Okay, but like it
It's
was
hilarious, but it doesn't mean
terrible.
you should get away with it.
no, but I mean,
Like I felt
But
horrible.
also,
But he's
can
not,
you
like,
attribute that
genius
to
for
his
that.
like
Yeah, that was
bipolar
bad.
disease?
Probably. I
That
don't know.
He's
I
like
mean-
he bipolarness that he chooses not to take meds for because apparently it stifles creativity.
yeah, which is a fine personal choice,
Yes,
but
but
as
like
long as it doesn't outwardly affect other people.
well, definitely not. No, I think
No.
I don't think you should ever be forced to take medicine.
No, you shouldn't.
obviously.
Even if it does outwardly affect other people.
No, you still can't be forced to.
but
Yeah, especially when it's like
Yeah.
mentally. That
I
changes.
think it
the way
also
your brain
I think it
works.
depends on like what you need medicine for.
Yeah, especially if you're but that was okay. No, that was bad, and the whole thing with like the music video for it too.
Yeah, that probably
For
like
what?
for Famous.
Yeah,
Probably not the best.
and also the lyrics in that song.
Like he like the song Famous is just about like how like he made Taylor Swift famous, and there was controversy in like him just putting that song out there.
It's a bold.
But
It's a
then-
bold claim.
yeah.
Then he
Just a
ends
tool,
up
you know?
Yeah.
then he ends up making a music video for it in which he like
Just like naked wax sculptures. of,
naked
like,
wax
her
sculptures
and
of
other
like
celebrities.
all of these celebrities.
I did not see this music
It was
video.
bizarre.
It's very
The
strange.
other crazy thing about saying that you made her famous is that the only encounter you had with her was when she was winning a Grammy.
Yeah.
And
Or
you
it
were
wasn't
trying
a
to
Grammy,
take, you were
VMA.
trying to take it away from her.
Yeah, which means
Yeah.
you didn't make her famous.
Well, he
she got
didn't
the
make
VMA
her
without you.
Like actually, in spite of you.
I mean, I didn't really like.
strange.
He brought publicity to that moment, but that's
Obviously,
all
I
it
was
did.
alive during that. I don't really remember like the.
I wasn't watching
I mean,
the
I think I heard about it
know the
after. I
reactions.
wasn't watching the VMAs.
Like, was it? Did it really like really? It must have.
Yeah, oh, he
Did
totally
you watch
cut
it?
off.
Have you watched
No,
it?
I mean I was like 9. Or
I know, have you seen the clip, though?
Oh yeah, of course I've seen the clip. It
Yeah.
was more just like in that moment what happened, like the aftermath of that. I don't know.
I'm sure it was...
Definitely did not make Taylor Swift famous. But, but yeah, I mean, he also his Twitter meltdowns in general. Like he goes on rants about like Bill Cosby's innocent, and like
That's a rough one.
that's a tough tweet.
That's
That's
just
a tough.
That is
No.
definitely a tough sell.
but even this year, like he just like
In his whole like presidential campaign, he does like a meeting and he like openly admits like to almost aborting his daughter, which didn't make Kim Kardashian happy because now they're separated.
Yep.
He's peed on his Grammy. He
Well, that's
He's
That's
more than
a
welcome to
personal
pee on his
choice.
Grammy. I don't care if he
But
does
he,
that.
he did something. He like released these contracts that he wasn't allowed to release, and then he
That's
also,
legal stuff, though. That's different.
Yeah, but I mean,
That's far different than
And
peanut.
overall,
Yes.
back to your original question: is he a genius or not? Musically, yes, but he's obviously a very troubled person.
yes.
I don't think you
that's
can
more
say he's a
included.
genius. I don't think you can.
Like
Well,
in general,
what he would tell you is that all of these crazy things that he is doing is his brain working in a way that's incompatible with the way that society works or the way that other people's brains works and doesn't.
Yeah. And he's kind of proud of that.
And that doesn't. But what he would tell you, which I don't agree with necessarily, is that doesn't put a value judgment on the things that he does or says. Because other people find it objectionable or crazy.
Yeah. I don't know. I think much of his brand now is at least he lives off of this the
And
press that he gets
his
from
best
this.
music, in my opinion, is just come from his just crazy
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
absolutely.
My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy was a result of what happened after Taylor Swift. I mean,
the whole album. It was
generally his music reflects just what's going on in his life.
I mean, if you
But-
I mean, a lot of people's music's reflect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But since Kanye West generally has a crazier life,
well, but you know the
Because
song.
of what
What's
it
the one?
does.
What's the one where he goes I thought about killing you?
yeah.
Yeah.
That
That
one
was in
was,
response to his mental breakdowns.
Right.
And stuff
Like,
that,
that's,
and,
like-
Those are good.
hospitalizations.
I thought that. I mean, that I thought was pretty good, but
I thought that album was great. Actually.
Kids See Ghosts, which is all about
Yeah.
and the sounds are definitely reflective of the crazy mental space that he's in.
Yeah.
Was really good for that
Yeezus,
reason.
like,
Yeezus,
that's
Yeah.
Yeezus
very-
definitely.
Yeah.
That was just strange noises that are,
Yeah.
but really works
Yeah.
as an album.
So I don't know. I think definitely his craziness contributes to at least his musical genius.
There's an argument to be made that his ability to actually translate that into music and do it
Yeah.
well
Oh, 100%.
is
Yeah.
is incredibly
100%.
intelligent.
Yeah. But do you think right now you're looking at Kanye post his 2020 Twitter meltdown post divorce? Do you think he still has the ability to post Jesus is King era? Do you think he still has the ability to put out an album that's just
I don't
as
think we
great
can.
as his others?
I hope so.
I hope so.
I hope.
Well,
I
I
more
guess
hope
he
that he's
says-
okay.
I guess
Yeah.
we'll never know.
I mean, obviously.
I guess
Guess
we'll
we'll
never know.
never know.
That's I think
That was
we
a
could conclude
legendary
on that.
moment.
Yeah.
That was an
Well,
absolute
I loved
legendary
it.
moment.
Early
And on
Kanye,
that
those clips are amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we could wrap it up on that.
Yeah. So that was the best segment for sure.
That
Yeah,
was
100%.
Definitely. I don't know what we said.
I fully have no idea.
We
what
just
you're
talked about
talking
Kanye. For
We all know exactly what we talked about.
yeah.
I don't know what direction we went with it. But
Yeah.
Tune in next time for maybe a trippy, talk about death and souls and time travel.
Join us for Steezcast episode 4 where we get really deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
love these conversations.
Yeah.
They're just fun.
This might be a nighttime episode. I don't know if I can do
That's
this during the
nighttime.
So,
That
yeah,
sounds
that
like a
was
good
pretty
idea.
fun,
The
actually.
problem is we can't film it here because it would be dark.
We could probably get lights.
We get
No,
lights.
there's lights.
There are totally lights here.
Um,
I forgot
that'd be
about how the
fun,
light
actually.
bulbs work.
Those are great conversations
Best
because
thing about lights
we
is
know
that even
nothing
when it's
about
dark.
anything. No one knows nothing about anything.
I mean,
Oh
you
my
can
God.
Save
You
save it for next time.
You
Yeah.
are tired.
Yeah, maybe I
bro.
should. Maybe I'll just I won't sleep, so I'll be super tired. So I'll say
That's definitely a bad idea.
That's
After what this episode has shown us, you should sleep.
Yes.
Seriously.
Alright, on that note, we're going to wrap this up. We will see you hopefully later this week for one more episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Say so.
again, if we can get our act together.
Yeah.
So see y'all next time.